Hi, this is Theo from punkablocks.com. Today I want to show you a new stylus. This is the Wacom Bamboo Fineline 2. This was released in September 2015. This review is going to cover how well it is for drawing as well as for writing purposes. This is a Bluetooth stylus that is designed for the iPad versions Mini, iPad 3, 4, Air and Air 2. It uses Bluetooth. But to give you the bottom line up front first, for writing purposes it's good, but it can definitely be much better. And for drawing, it really depends on the application support. This stylus has a pressure sensitivity, palm rejection, there's one shortcut key, but not all these features are supported in all drawing apps. So this review is going to cover some of that. This is the box. And inside we have the stylus and a USB charging port. Stylus, it's the front part is plastic. It feels a bit cheap, like a bit hollow like that, but the back part is metal. And at the back you have the port for charging the USB, the battery inside this stylus. With a clip that feels a bit, I'm not too sure if it's going to break off, but the clip is very, how should I say, a bit loose, so you can see that it turns like that. It definitely feels a bit cheap. And there's this one shortcut button, and the light indicator is here. I want to mention also the Creative Stylus 2, which is very similar to this Fineline number 2. For less than $10 extra, you can get a box, a stylus with 2 buttons, and an extra nib. So Fineline 2 does not come with any extra nibs. The Creative Stylus 2 comes with 1 extra nib. The main difference is, of course, the shortcut button, and the nib here is just slightly bigger, but that's all. In terms of drawing functionality, they are the same. And you can uncap the cap and put it at the back, but there's no, how should I say, there's no clicking sound when you put it at the back. So it's just, you just try to squeeze it in and make sure that it doesn't fall out. It's quite tight actually. So if you press the button here, there's this blue light that will turn on to tell you that it's trying to connect with your iPad. Top here, the nib here is about 1.9 mm. It's quite thin. Main thing to note is it does move a bit, so it moves a bit in and out. So, and also it's made of hard plastic. When you're writing on the surface, I'm not sure if you can hear it, but it's going to get that kind of surface when you're writing. But let me show you the sound when you're going to draw it on the iPad. So if it, I'm sure if you can hear it, something like that. Okay, let's start the review. Oh yeah, this I visited Wacom's website. This is the list of apps that support this particular stylus. And it does not all the apps support all the features on the stylus. For example, Wacom Bamboo Paper, their own app, they support pressure sensitivity, palm rejection, and what's this? Shortcut function, means the shortcut button. So for some other apps, they only support, let's say, pressure sensitivity, but not palm rejection. And for some note-taking applications, they only support palm rejection, but not pressure sensitivity. So you have to check out their website. I'll post a link to where you can check that in the video description. So let's get started drawing. Wacom Bamboo Paper is one of my favorite drawing applications because I really like the ink lines. Let me try and draw. Let me connect the stylus first. Okay, by default it's not going to be connected, so you just press this thing here, this button here, and then click the shortcut button. Make sure the blue light comes on, and then press it down here. And there it says it's connected. To get the best, to make sure that there's no quirks or something, you make sure that you turn off multitasking gestures in your iPad. And also, if you cannot connect for some reason, make sure that Bluetooth is actually on. Okay, let me go in and draw. Let me draw something, maybe a chair. Let me draw a chair. So this supports palm rejection. Let me show you how well the palm rejection works. And also how well the, oops, do you see the line disappear? Oops. So that is how well the palm rejection works. I think it's quite obvious that it doesn't work very well. It doesn't work very well for Wacom bamboo paper, but in the other app that I used, Adobe Sketch, Adobe Photoshop Sketch, it works pretty well. So it's definitely a problem with this particular app. And it's sad to say that Wacom's app doesn't even support their own stylus properly. So I cannot draw this very properly. Let me erase it and draw. Let me draw this as if I do not have any palm rejection. That means I lift off my hand from the surface. You can see some thick and thin lines going on. Oops, let me undo it. So you can press the button, shortcut button to undo it. I think my chair is not looking very well. There's not much offset to speak of because I set the writing posture to be something like this. So if I'm going to draw like this, I'll choose this posture. If I'm going to draw, let's say like this, I'll choose this posture. But when you're drawing, like when you choose this posture and you draw like this, there's going to be offset. But if you choose this posture and you draw like this, there's not going to be any offset, and it's actually quite accurate. So let me try this one. Oops. Make sure that your position is correct so that the lines will actually appear under the nib. Oops, what happened just now? So this is, I would say, pretty satisfactory, except the palm rejection does not work that well. Let me clear the page again. Let me show you one of the problems digital stylists have is that when it comes to drawing diagonal lines, it tends to be a bit wavy. So let me show you how well it is at drawing diagonal lines. So it does appear to be a bit, there's some jitter and it appears a bit wavy, especially when you're drawing slow. So when I'm drawing slow, it's going to be jitter. But when you're drawing fast, no problem at all. Also, when you're drawing very heavily, you can get the thick and thin lines. Is that going to be a problem when you're drawing? Yes, if you are the type of artist who likes to draw details and you like to be slow. For example, if you're drawing a face, you're drawing a portrait of someone, you need to pay attention and make sure that the lines are smooth. Make sure that the lines go where they want to go. So, for example, you can see here that I drew very slowly for this nose area here, and oops, and there's a bit of jitter, so that's the problem with digital stylus, like Bluetooth stylus, stuff like that. But if you draw it very fast, if you use the stylus like for very quick sketches, I think it's perfectly fine. But this is one area to take note of, the diagonal lines when you're drawing very slowly. Let me show you more of the offset again, if there's any offset. Let me choose the hand posture. Let's try this one. So pay attention to how I connect the lines and whether or not the lines actually connect properly. Oops. You may notice that sometimes I would change my hand posture. And if I change my hand posture, then I am not going to be able to connect the lines properly. So if let's say I choose my posture to be like this, but if I draw like this, you can see how much offset it's going to get. The line actually appears at the top of the nib. So you do not want to draw like that, of course. Let's say I'll choose this position. If I choose this position and draw like this, the line will appear directly below the nib. It's quite accurate, but if you are drawing like this, if you change somehow, like you draw like this, then you can see that, hey, the line now appears underneath. So you have to keep your hand posture consistent throughout your drawing, but that is something that is not going to happen with me, because when I draw straight lines, I like to move my hands around. I can only draw straight lines from certain angle. So sometimes when I need to draw straight lines, I have to go in and change the hand posture, which is very inconvenient. Let me show you now the other app, Adobe Photoshop Sketch. Oops, what's this? Let me pair the stylus first. Okay, this is already paired. And let me use the pencil to... There's this little icon here that shows you... Oops. It supports palm rejection. So I'm going to turn it on now. And I'm going to put my hand on the screen, and I'm going to draw the same chair just now. Oops, I accidentally pressed the key, the shortcut key. So you notice that if I draw the lines diagonally a bit slow, it's a bit wavy. Notice how well the palm rejection works here. There's no stray strokes. Oops, I pressed the shortcut button accidentally again. So all this while I'm drawing, my hand is actually on the surface of the screen. So let me put the... Oops, there's a bit of offset because I changed my hand position. Oops. It's quite difficult because sometimes I do like to change my hand position as if I'm drawing with a real pencil. You can set palm preferences here as well. I mean the hand position here as well. Oops. Accidentally press the shortcut buttons a lot of times. Okay, so there are absolutely no stray marks when I'm using palm rejection in Adobe Photoshop Sketch. But in Wacom's own tablet, it's almost unusable. The palm rejection is almost unusable. So right now I'm shading the chair. I'm pressing down hard to test the pressure sensitivity, and it works actually quite well with Photoshop Sketch. So if I just use light pressure, you can see that it's not... Oops, let me undo that. Okay, use pencil. Yeah. See, when I'm trying to shade, sometimes I like to change my hand position, so you get the offset there. When it comes to, let's say, lagging or when the strokes come up, there's absolutely no lag at all. You may find that I'm going to contradict myself when I'm testing this stylus for writing later, but for drawing purposes, there's not much lag. Let's test how well it writes. Make sure that the screen is in the correct orientation. I usually write with the pen, but for this demonstration I'm going to use a thicker line to show you. Okay, make sure that it's pad first and write the lines. B. Let me use a thinner line. So you do hear some noticeable tapping sound when you're writing with the hard nib on the screen surface. Handwriting wise, I'm not the most tidy handwriter, but it's usable. But there's this microsecond lag when you're using this particular stylus for writing, as compared to maybe a capacitive stylus, a non-digital stylus, where the lines actually just come out. Oops, let me turn this off. When you're writing with the Fineline 2 and palm rejection is on, it works very well. But when it comes to drawing purposes, palm rejection does not work. It's very buggy, but for writing, it's very good. How well this stylus performs really depends on the apps you are using it with. Not all apps support the features of this stylus. For example, even Wacom Bamboo Paper, they do not support palm rejection as well as Adobe Photoshop Sketch. That's quite surprising there. If you want to buy this for drawing, make sure to check out their website to see what applications support this stylus. For note-taking and writing purposes, it's good, but it's not there yet. I think you can still improve it in terms of the accuracy and how well the strokes come out. This is quite an expensive stylus. The official retail price is $60 US, mainly because it has pressure sensitivity. But for writing purposes, pressure sensitivity is not really necessary, so you can save some money by just buying a cheaper stylus. One thing about pressure sensitivity I want to say is this stylus is definitely not as pressure sensitive as, let's say, traditional stylus like this. For styluses that you use on this type of tablet, when you do a quick stroke, you notice on the screen you get a thin, thick and thin line. But with this particular stylus, when you do a quick stroke, you get a thin and then you get a thick line. You do not get the ending thin line. So that's the limitation for this particular stylus to take note of. That's all for today's review. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask me in the comment section below. I will also post links to all the things that I've talked about in the video earlier. And remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more art product reviews, sketchbook features, and sketching tips in the future. Thanks and have a nice day.